Hello, welcome to FundForum Asia 2017. I'm Sarah Clarke, joining you from the JW Marriott Hotel in Hong Kong. Now, joining me today is Scott Bales, who's the Managing Director of Innovation Labs Asia. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Sarah.
We are discussing the key issue of innovation in the financial services industry and mobility. One of the key questions I want to ask you, and looking at technology and disruption, have the words FinTech and disruption become synonymous when thinking about the future of the asset management business?
Yeah, it's one of the, broadly across the whole financial services spectrum, you have people attach themselves to buzzwords to motivate movement. And so FinTech has been a great catalyst of that. It basically means technology-enabled finance. It's not dissimilar to the core banking systems they put out in the 1970s, basically. But it is a good way to have a common vernacular around how we talk about the future of the industry, because we talk about how we can re-architect the value propositions or even the value chains in which we deliver our services around themes that could disrupt. And so you're looking at things like the removal of redundant intermediaries or the reduction in complexity. Technology is a huge catalyst for that. So the FinTech theme really does make a fantastic core message around that.
And the future is FinTech?
The future is pretty much FinTech. And, there's some great quotes out there saying, banks are no longer banks, they are technology companies with a banking license. And they need to start thinking like that.
And if the industries, or I should say, if firms don't embrace FinTech, we had one speaker earlier who said that they may as well be obsolete. Is that the case?
Yeah, under FinTech there's some big themes that will really shake the roots, and you're talking about big data, AI, cloud, like some big mega themes. But you're right, if they don't embrace them, they basically put themselves at threat. Now there is still going to be a niche opportunity out there for the whole traditional relationship-based business that'll still exist, but it's going to be the market size similar to those people that still have LPs or some of the more nostalgic things.
Okay, and is the industry then thinking about technology and disruption as it should? We're saying they will become obsolete if they don't embrace the future, but is the industry actually meeting that, or is it shifting?
So my challenge when I'm working with the executives and boards now is they come to me worrying about particular technologies. Like we're worried about artificial intelligence, we're worried about big data, we're worried about cloud. And I go, if that's your worry, you're looking in the wrong direction. Because it's actually what that will do to us as humans. Because in any relationship with any product and service, the human aspect is still very important. No wealth product exists without a customer to buy the wealth product. And so it comes around, how does those technologies change the way you and I interact, the way you and I see the world, the way we research products and services, the way we expect from the services in our life. So coming back to that real human thing is the part we should be focusing on, not the technology itself.
Okay, looking down the track, how rapidly is this landscape or consumer demands, investor demands changing? We're looking at technology, delivery, distribution. How rapidly is that changing?
Yeah, so there's two big parts of this. One is the demand, and I think the demand is well and truly there now. The degree of digital comprehension and digital literacy in the marketplace is strong enough that the demand is there. The challenge is getting the grassroots, particularly the compliance, the regulation components right. And so if you look at a lot of the work that the Monetary Authority of Singapore did last year in some of their public announcements, publicly supporting some of the technologies that will change the sector. As we get more and more of that, we're going to basically see a tidal wave. And I talk about two key trigger points in society. One will be basically the second half of this year will be vital around the embracing, or at least the first steps of embracing technologies like big data, cloud and AI. If they aren't experimenting this year, they're already behind. The next will be is that they'll have to target to have at least 10% of their overall revenue coming from those technologies by 2023. And 2023 comes around as that the vast majority, basically the big pie of most markets will be digital natives. And that starts from 2023. So if they're not ready by then, they're well and truly behind.
Okay, well, we've looked at the timetable and schedule of this year. What about comparisons, and this is the final question, looking at markets? Who's embracing technology and this technology faster? Are we talking Asia? Is it slow to embrace compared to, say, the European and other markets?
So different markets, depending on, again, the risk taking of the regulator have different so US markets have been fantastic in the consumer side of financial services. So you have Bank Simple, you have like a number of fintech startups in the US from a consumer standpoint progressing fast. That's not happening in Asia so much because the regulation is biased towards how do we use fintech to enhance or enable the existing infrastructure. So a lot of your fintechs in Asia are around how do we help the banks or insurance companies or investment firms to do their current job better. That's mainly because most of those founders are ex-bankers or investment bankers. Europe now has a mix as well. Because of the European passport framework, you're seeing some fantastic things like Bank Fedor, which is kind of like a bank in a box that allows a lot of the operational stuff to actually progress. So we're seeing different flavours in different parts of the world. Then you look at sub-Saharan Africa, like emerging markets around, you've got Kenya, where 90% of the GDP is transacted on cell phones and on all products. And so you're seeing different flavours that will eventually, sort of come together in time. But right now they're still fragmented.
Scott Bales, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Sarah.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for, but you can follow this conversation and others on Twitter. Look for @FundForum on Twitter, as well as hashtag FFAsia. Thanks very much for joining us.